and I don't think most Ohioans would believe that this is a proper disposal, or if this is a humane disposal.
But to follow up on Jim's question, there's a difference between that and it actually needing an injunction because it violates a law.
You've said that this is a rule that prohibits this form of disposal of things.
No, you go back. You go back to the original authority that comes to the head of the health department, and that's what the action or the administrative code that was promulgated comes under his authority. So it is the law. I was playing a lawyer to try to separate the administrative versus the statutory, but he has the authority based on the statutory authority that he has to do that, and that has been the law in the state of Ohio since 1975.
But do you believe it could be used as a reason to close a facility?
I did not say that. No, that's not what I'm saying.
But I'm asking your opinion. Could it be?
I don't have an opinion. That's not what we're seeking.
Mike, I'm a little unclear. Are you talking about, did they, in your opinion, break the law or break a Ohio revised code?
Okay. The law in Ohio, the Director of Health has the authority to promulgate. I mean, if you go back and look directly at the Director of Health shall adopt rules relating to abortion. And then specifically it says the humane disposition of the product of human conception. So in a law that dates back to 1975, I believe, he was given that authority. Whoever the director was at that time wrote that. It's been in the administrative code since then. So it's been the laws to be followed in this state since 1975. So we would be seeking an injunction based upon that, and our argument will be that this is not a humane practice. The court will ultimately decide whether or not that is humane or whether it is not humane. The court will make its own decision. Simultaneously with this discovery, I informed the state legislatures, legislative leaders. I believe that they've told me that they're planning on taking some action fairly quickly to spell out in more detail specifically what is an acceptable disposal of aborted fetuses. So
I don't want to push this
we're on
point,
to two
Mike,
tracks, but
I was struggling when I wrote this earlier to say, is this illegal or is this improper under the code? And
okay, well, let me refer to several lawyers who are standing back there, and we'll see if any of our lawyers want to take a stab at it. Pete, you want to take a stab at this, or not?
You have a choice?
Well,
I'm Pete Thomas, Chief of the Charitable Law Section for Attorney General DeWine. Mr. Johnson, what was the question?
Well, it seems like it's a revised code that you cited in your press release, but I see Rich Hodges in his press release said it's illegal, potentially illegal. So is this an illegal matter you're pursuing or a violation of the code, which is code and not law?
An administrative code versus
revised
code.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I mean, I agree with the Attorney General that the rules can only clarify the power given under this revised code. The revised code says he shall promulgate rules regarding humane disposal. That he has done and said it must be done humanely. Whether that is illegal, in my mind, which is just my opinion, something that violates a revised code section, breaks the law.
And also, I think we need to understand there's no criminal penalty here.
Right.
There's no criminal penalty. There's no civil penalty. So the only remedy we can seek is what we are seeking, which is an injunction. I think in the common vernacular, when people say broke the law, most people think, oh, there's a penalty connected with that. So that may not be the most artful way of saying it, and if I said that, I apologize.
If you're seeking this injunction, if you receive this injunction, is that going to include the stoppage of performing the abortion in these facilities?
No, it's not what we're asking for. No, I mean, this is a very narrowly crafted, it will be when our lawyers craft it, fairly narrowly crafted, asking for an injunction to prohibit them from disposing of aborted fetuses in this manner. And that's all it will be doing.
You talked with the attorney for Planned Parenthood. Is it to your understanding that Planned Parenthood knew that these fetuses were going to landfills?
That's my understanding. Joe, you want to take that?
I can't answer the question as to what the attorneys for Planned Parenthood knew.
What Planned Parenthood knows
But whether or not it ends up in a landfill, we don't know. However, they did indicate to us through their counsel that they give the aborted fetuses, the Planned Parenthood facilities, the aborted fetuses to the AccuWaste company, which ultimately is the company that winds up in the landfill. Again, I can't speak to what their knowledge was as far as the ultimate disposition, but again, as the general said, it is the onus is on the rule. The rule is, if you're going to dispose of a fetus, it must be done in a humane manner.
How do you go about trying to stop this disposal with these 3 Planned Parenthood clinics, yet there could be hospitals across the state using these same companies and the same disposal for fetuses at hospitals?
Well,
how do you apply that selectively?
I only apply it based on what I know, and I'm so this is a very narrow focus. It is a narrow focus. We came up with information that we did not expect in an investigation. We had an obligation, I felt, to do something with that information. We have done 2 things. We informed the Director of Health, and we've informed the state legislature. In regard to what other hospitals are doing, I don't know that. That was not part of the investigation. What I think is going to happen is that the legislature is going to step in, and this matter is going to get resolved, I would think, rather quickly in regard to how, in the state of Ohio, fetuses should be disposed of. So what I would hope is that, your question is somewhat academic in the sense that the legislature will take care of this issue.
General, what did you think of the findings in the investigation that Planned Parenthood did not sell fetal tissue or violate the law in that regard?
Our job was to find the facts. Those are the facts, and we have made those facts public today.
General, are there any federal waste disposal issues involved here because of this material that could involve Planned Parenthood clinics or hospitals? Is there anything that could get in the way of the legislature intervening?
I'm not aware of anything, but we haven't done research on that. I'm not aware of anything that could get in the way of the legislature, deciding that. I mean, this law has been on the books since 1975. Administrative Code, I believe, has been in effect since 1975. So this is not exactly a new administrative code or a new Ohio Revised Code section. Now, what the court does with this obviously is up to the court. Again, I think what's going to happen is, whatever the court does, the legislature is, I would think, going to take some fairly quick action on this. I just don't think Ohioans, thought that fetuses were being disposed of in landfills. I just don't think that's what the average Ohioan thinks. I don't think the average Ohioan wants that. We're not seeking anything other than an injunction to stop them from doing this.